Hi everyone, my name is Stuart. This is Laura. So Laura, where are you from?
Queens, New York, Glendale.
Queens, New York, Glendale, same as me. And yeah, of course. And we're here to talk about running today. And Laura is an avid runner. Are you into you? Is that right, Laura? You're into running?
Yes, I'm into running.
So you were doing a lot of training lately, and I'm sure you're getting asked a lot of questions about how about different things about your training. Is that true?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
So we gathered some questions together that would maybe help answer a few questions, like I said, that other people have. So, would you mind answering a few questions for us today?
Sure, I don't mind answering.
Yeah. So, we got the top 12 questions. I don't know if we'll get to them all, but we're gonna try starting off the top. So, how did you get started with running, and what inspired you to take up training seriously?
Well, I started by doing walking small steps. So I would go to the park and they had a track. So I started seeing people running and then I said, oh, let me start running. So I started doing like a light jog and I said, oh, it's not so hard. It's pretty easy. And little by little, baby steps. Now I'm doing a lot more.
Yeah. So, that's good. You're doing a lot more. But eventually, you became a lot more serious about that.
Oh, yes.
So, what inspired you to get more serious?
Health wise, because I've been looking to lose weight. So a lot of people say running helps with losing weight. So I said, okay. So they said for every mile you lose 100
100
pounds
calories?
calories.
Yeah,
Yes,
pounds would be great,
yeah,
but it's
that's it.
calories. Yeah.
100 calories per mile. And I was like, so if I run 5 miles, I lose 500 calories.
Yeah, yeah. If you can have the energy to do it,
Yes.
which I don't. I wish I did. Yeah, you inspired me. I gotta try to run a little more myself. Uh, okay, so we're gonna go to the next question. It says, what are your running goals and what specific achievements are you aiming for in your training?
Oh, in the beginning, I was the goal is to finish whatever you started. So if you're going to go out to do 5 miles, the goal is to finish it. If you're doing a race at the beginning and it's 4 miles, the goal is to finish the race. Now, my goal is to work on my speed and time.
Right. So, but as far as your speed and time, so what would be an average that you do then?
Right
Because
now,
you're saying like if you do 5 miles, you if you go to do 5 miles, finish 5 miles. I get that, but what's been your average mile goal? Like when you set out on your daily training, what is your mileage?
um, to do 1 mile and running, I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing it about 11 pace. So it's 11 minutes for 1 mile.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to try to get back to where I was before, which was like 9:50, 10. Oh,
9:50, 10. So
minutes for one
minutes
mile.
for 1 mile. So
Right.
how many miles are you doing let's say in a day, in one run, you go out to go run. How many miles do you like to do?
Oh, I do about 3 miles.
3 miles. Yeah,
But I,
because the viewer doesn't understand. Like, okay, you leave the house and you say, I'm gonna do 5 miles today, right?
right.
But I want to do it in how many minutes?
In, what was it for 5 miles?
Yeah,
Yeah, for 5 miles would be I wanted to do it in an hour,
yeah. No, so it
60
helps the
minutes.
viewer
Right.
understand
Hmm.
because they're not runners.
Right.
So you're you you can do 5 miles easily. Now you're trying to do it faster,
Right.
right? You're
Right.
working on your time.
Right.
But or no matter what, you want to finish 5 miles, but you also want to do it in a certain amount of time,
Right.
right?
Right.
I'm just trying to get it all together
Yeah.
for the view, right? Because you say it like, oh, I want to do 11:5. We don't know what 11:5 is.
Right. Yeah.
We don't speak your language
Right.
yet. You
Yes.
understand? Okay. We can move on to another question. You good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because how do you structure your training plan? What type of workouts do you include, and how do you balance speed, endurance, and recovery? Now I know this is like three questions, so let's break that apart. How do you structure how do you structure your training plan? So basically, what's the routine? I know you kind of said what it was, but can you add to that?
Well, a structure to really get the runs in. The goal is to try to do 3 runs a week. And what works sometimes is very hard because I'm tired. But the goal is to get 3 in. If you can do 3, that's a good thing. So that would be the structure.
Okay. And what type of workouts do you include? So I guess do you do other things besides the running, or is there other kind of workout within running? I don't know.
Well, what you're supposed to do too is if you're not running, you can do power walking, which I try to do during the week also. And you can do a lot of exercises. So you can do like little weight, you can do squats, you can do sprinting, or we have speed workouts that we do that you can do, which is the hills and the tracks, where we do running on the tracks.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's considered cross training.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw one of those questions in there earlier.
Right.
So okay, I'm trying to learn the language. That's cross training.
Yeah.
Because how do you balance speed? Well, you talked about speed before, so we'll say um, endurance and recovery. How do you handle that? Because endurance meaning how do you get yourself to keep doing the races? Endurance, like oh, I don't want to give up, and it's mile one, and you're going for 5 miles.
Right.
Your endurance, keeping up, I guess. And then how do you recover? The second question is how do you recover from the workout?
Well, I would think endurance to everybody. I've spoken to other runners, and they've always say get a steady pace. So if you're running and you feel comfortable with that, just go with it. And then when you get close to the end, if you're doing a race, just give it all you got. So try to mellow it out. Like be like baby steps. Hey, I'm gonna go nice and easy. But then when you got to the end and you got like 1 more mile to go in or 2 more miles to go in, give it all you got because you saved it up from what you did before. And recovery, of course, don't if you feel like you're hurting or you got pain or something, just step yourself back and don't keep pushing yourself. Say, hey, my leg is starting to hurt. Step to the side, take a break, do a few minute stretches, and then get
Oh, you
yourself
mean
back in.
during the race
During
itself?
the race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or you can start, if you're running and then you start to feel a cramp, then do walking, but try to keep the walking close to your running. That way you don't lose the speed that you're working on or the pace.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Just don't stop altogether.
Right.
Slow down your pace. See
Right.
if you feel a little bit better.
Right. So if you're doing
Yeah.
a pace at say 5 minutes, just running, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I can't do it. Then when you start walking, don't go up to 10.
Yeah, it's probably harder to slow down so much
Right.
and then start back up again.
Right. Yeah.
Thinking
at
thinking
least
it's gonna be
maybe jump
okay.
up to a 2 or something. So do
Yeah.
it at 7
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah. Right. Start back up slowly, if anything, to that speed again,
Right.
to a higher speed.
Right.
Don't go from 0 to 10
Right.
after
Like,
yeah.
when I recently did a race and it was in the heat and I couldn't I couldn't run. I was like, let me stop. So I stopped for a few minutes. And then all of a sudden I saw my watch and I was like, oh my God, the numbers are going up real high because I'm taking too much time and going too slow. And then to build back up to that speed again, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So this next question probably was answered already. What challenges have you overcome during training, and how do you overcome them? I think you just said that in
Pretty
that one,
much,
right? Yeah, yeah. So I'll skip over that one.
yeah.
He goes, how do you stay motivated during the training periods and when facing setbacks?
Just keep saying you got this, you're gonna do it. Don't give up. Sometimes if you're in a race, you hear the motivation of all the people screaming your name. But if
Mm,
you're on your own, just keep thinking, I got this, and you know,
yeah.
just keep
Well, I mean,
going.
I guess I'll say the obvious ones. Uh, how many miles you did? You did more the next day. It's like, wow, great, right?
Right,
And even the weight, right? It's like,
right.
oh, I lost 2 pounds. Let me keep going,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So always include that,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah. Um, yeah, because most people need the motivation. Like, how am I going to do this every day?
right, right.
So, in your mind, what's the first? What is the most things that you think like? Oh, I got to get up today to do another run.
Right. And you think too in the morning, it's like, oh, I gotta get dressed, I gotta put all the equipment on and everything else. But then afterwards you've done it and you're like, wow, I got all this energy and I was just stressing about getting up and doing what I had to do and then you feel good the rest of the day. You're like, well, I did something. I
Well, that's a big
accomplished it.
motivator. Yeah,
Right.
just feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people said that's what they think about. Oh, the doing, but they don't realize how much comes out after,
Right.
right?
And then, of course, if you did 5 miles, 6 miles, or whatever, and you can always eat a big burger afterwards,
Oh,
a
because you
big
lost the
meal.
calories,
Yes,
right?
you
Yeah,
lost the calories,
yeah,
and it's like,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
burned everything, and now I can eat
You can
again.
afford to eat
You can
something.
afford to eat it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you took some away, you can add some back,
Right.
right? Yeah. And it also depends on how much your goals are. I mean, we're not saying pig out, but
Right.
you're able to do more by exercising than you can without.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Mm.
you know what I mean? Nobody's saying pig out, but you definitely feel less guilty eating something
Mm-hmm.
once you burned it off and then did a lot of exercise,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Um, okay, we're going to the next questions. Are you part of a running group? Oh, hold on, let me say the whole thing because these are like three parters. Are you part of your running group, and do you have a running coach? How does their support contribute to your progress? So we'll break that apart. First, are you in a running group, or do you have a coach?
I am in a running group. It's Forest Park Runners. They do runnings at Forest Park, and I have a coach, but I haven't started training with the new coach yet. But I had worked with Ed before. He used to do the speed workout, and he used to
And
help.
Ed's part of the Roadrunner.
No, part of the Forest Park running group.
Okay.
So they helped a lot. He helped a lot. He would do the hills. We would do the ladders, which is on the tracks. So we would do like 1 mile, 2 miles, and then go backwards. 2, 3 miles, and we would do hills, running up halfway and running down like 5 or 6 times. And yeah, it was really good. And they do really inspire, helping. They help with injuries. They tell you, they motivate you. I have an app that I use that's called Strava for the running. And recently, somebody just says to me, "Hey, I haven't seen you on Strava for a while. So what's up?" I'm like, "Guess I got to get back into
Oh,
it."
so you
So
can see the other runners that are
I can see the other
participating
runners, right?
in
Yeah,
Strava with
and
you.
Strava, yeah,
So you can see, even if you haven't seen them in a while, you see their numbers and you
right.
see,
Yes,
okay, they haven't been here at all, or they're doing good, they're doing
yes,
bad,
right.
and you guys get to chat. Is there a
Hmm.
chat
No, no,
connected
no
with them?
chat, no chat.
But you can still message them
Mm,
directly and say, hey, what's up?
yeah, you can
I seen
go
your numbers or I didn't see your numbers,
on
right?
the comments. You can do comments.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Either through the app or personal, you're able
right. Hmm.
to talk to them about it and say, hey, what's
Hmm.
going on?
Right.
That's really, really good.
Oh, and just with the
Fun.
runners group, I do go. I'm a big fan of New York Road Runners, which is for the New York City Marathon. You have to do a 9+1 races, but they inspire a lot too because you meet a lot of new friends and
Yeah, they help you
helping
prepare
help you
for
prepare
the marathon
right for the marathon.
if that's what you're going for.
Yeah. Hmm.
Very cool. Well, let me see. Get back to the question. Well, you already answered this. Is how does their support contribute to your progress? We already answered that. I guess we'll go to the next question, right?
Okay.
What role does cross training? Well, we already answered that one too.
Yeah.
How does cross training routine help you? That's what those guys were doing in the park there, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, it says, how do you handle injury prevention and recovery?
Well, you always listen to your body. So if you start to feel cramps or pains, don't continue. Either pull over to the side and stop for a few minutes, or if you happen to be in a race and something happens, you have to go for medical. But if you're on your own and something happens, you can either just continue walking or just don't do anything. And then there's always recovery is ice packs you can put on, massages. You can do massages, and also to wrap, the like knee wraps. They have a sleeve. We have socks, support socks, which is the greatest. I have them. They actually really help. So
Good. I know one thing people often forget to mention, even though it's obvious, is time.
hmm
You injure yourself, don't go running the next day
right,
or that afternoon.
right,
You need time to heal,
yeah,
right? I
yeah,
often say that to you, Laura. It's like,
yeah.
oh,
Like we have somebody
yeah.
in Forest Park running group, Jack, constantly hurting himself, and he's like, I got this," and he says, "I'm walking it today, but I can't run it, but I'm still going to do whatever I have to do,"
Yeah,
and he'll be in injuries, and
yeah.
so yeah,
Well, Jack might be better off sometimes not running at all.
right, right,
But, I just want to remind runners in general, it's addictive, but you do have to take your breaks.
right,
You
right.
do have to.
Yes,
Part of recovery is time to recover. If you
yes.
don't give yourself any time,
Nope.
you're not going to recover,
Right,
right?
right.
Just putting ice and everything else is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You need the time.
Time.
The body has to heal. It's just a
Yeah.
natural process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if we got another question. Oh, we're moving right along. This, uh, have you participated in any races or competitions recently?
Recently, yes. So I did a four mile in Central Park with New York Road Runners, and it rained when we started, so it poured, and which wasn't too bad, but the humidity was horrible, and I really could not run. There was no way of running. And then like I said, I
So
tried to.
you walked
Majority of it, I
more?
walked.
Mm.
I ran 1 mile, and then that's what I was saying before, that if you try to do fast speed and then you want to try to slow down, but I slowed down way too much. I there was no way of getting back, so I
Well,
couldn't.
the rain is just too much.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the humidity was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
been to Central.
So you rather slow down than hurt yourself,
Right,
right?
right.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Central Park is Harlem Hills, and the Cat Hill is where it'll definitely kill you.
All those are parts of the race that are very
Yes,
tough.
yes.
Okay.
They're all uphill, and it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was laughing because the lady in front of me took out her asthma pump, and I was like, well, if I'm slowing down and she's doing her pump, it's okay. I said a lot of people were walking next to me anyway, so it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second half of that question is, what did you learn from that experience? And I guess you just said that too.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next question. What advice would you give someone who's just starting in their journey in running? or looking to start training to the next level?
Well, number one goal, and I keep saying it, listen to your body, no matter what. If you don't feel right that day or you don't feel good, and always eat. Make sure you eat, because if you don't get enough calories, they say you're supposed to get, for running, at least 1,200 calories a day, so that you feel okay running and everything, so that you're good.
Yeah,
Um,
because that's like a minimum. So for
right,
minimum for non-runners. So
right,
you better have that starting a run.
right. Hmm.
Yeah,
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 and yeah, like I said, and always, like I said, listen to your body. Make sure you eat. Oh, and if it's a hot day, make sure you're hydrated. Bring water, no matter what.
good advice.
Yeah, definitely drink water or anything. And we have little gel. They have little
Yeah,
gel packs, honey
yeah.
packs. So good
Well,
too.
they shouldn't drink a lot right before.
Oh no.
Try to make sure your body's ready for
Right.
the run.
Right.
Don't guzzle a lot right
Yeah.
before.
Right.
That's not what you meant,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah. Just make sure you're hydrated before you start running.
Right. And Gatorade is usually the best. I like Gatorade.
Yeah.
It gives more of
Yeah.
an oomph.
Yeah, they call electrolytes. It has more
Right.
than water.
Right.
Yeah. And that if it's going to be a long race, you have some liquid during the race
Right.
and definitely after the race for sure.
Right.
Yeah. But it depends on the race, right?
Mhm,
Depends how long it is.
Yep.
Or how hot it is.
Right.
You could be running in the winter and you're not going to have as much as in the summer.
Right.
Yeah, but there's always water.
Yeah.
There's always have to stay hydrated,
Yes.
no matter what season.
Right.
Yeah. It was nice talking to you, Laura.
Thank you.
Some good questions. Anything you want to add to it?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. So see you in the next one.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with your races.
Thank you.
Mm.